All right, here we are. I haven't done a live in a few minutes. If you are new to this channel, welcome. We talk about physical media here, about Blu-rays and 4Ks. I'm just doing a little adjusting while I talk here. Sometimes DVDs, however the movies come, that's how we talk about them. As long as we can get them on a physical disc that we can put on the shelf and discuss. So if you are new to this channel, Off the Shelf Movie Night, welcome. Hit that subscribe button, join the conversation, hit that notification bell because my posts are kind of all over the place. I post between gigs and when I have time to do it. So that's probably your best bet, is to just follow me up that way. And let me know about your collections too, because I really do this because I want to know about other people's physical media. I want recommendations on what I should buy and what you've been picking up and that kind of thing. Usually what I like to do are movie theme based streams, you know, whether it's a horror night or a specific actor or whatever. That's what I usually prefer to do, but there is a Criterion sale happening at Barnes & Noble. Happens twice a year. So I wanted to just sort of jump in here and have a conversation about it. I did do a video showing my Criterion pickups already, and you can take a look at that after all this is over. I'll try and remember to put it in the description, but honestly, I'm pretty bad about remembering to do that. I'll be honest about that. But I will try. But it is the previous video to this one as you're watching things on the channel. I picked up 4 titles, and what I thought I would do along with that video, sort of as a add-on to it, is show you most of my collection. Not most of it. I think it's pretty much everything. I have a few things out on loan, like I've loaned to people, but pretty much everything else I believe is here. I don't have a super huge collection, so we can do this fairly quickly. I am picky about what I buy from Criterion, so it's not like other, like Arrow Video, for example. I tend to buy a little bit more. Lately, I've been buying more from like Second Sight and some of those places too, but Criterion, I tend to buy, I'm a little more picky because they're more expensive mostly. And also Criterion is a different kind of curating. You know, each of these studios has a different type of curating that they do. Arrow's curating has kind of changed a little bit, and some people are not happy about it. Arrow tended to be more, well, this is the funny thing about Arrow. So when Arrow first started, they were 2 companies. There was Arrow and then the Arrow Academy. Arrow Academy, I think, was, to me, the UK version of Criterion. Now, they aren't the only ones dabbling in that market, and I think that's why they ended up changing, because there's others that dabble in those same sort of art house type of films. So if you bought Arrow Academy titles, you were basically buying a lot of the same type of important art house, sometimes historic movies. But then if you bought from Arrow proper, you would be buying more grindhouse things and more Scream Factory type of things. They would get those good IPs internationally. Well, they merged the 2 companies after Zavi bought into Arrow. I think Zavi, if I remember correctly, Zavi bought a giant portion of Arrow, and they disbanded Arrow Academy, and they just started buying some of those titles for their catalog mixed into the Arrow releases. Everyone seems to, in the last couple of years, gotten used to that, and so Arrow became a company that was a mix of grindhouse and art house. Well, in the last year or so, in particular, they've started to license some big IPs. You know, some stuff, big IPs that aren't horror. Actually, they've been going a little bit of the Kino Lorber route, although Arrow remains better than Kino Lorber as far as quality of packaging and extras. Kino Lorber does some stuff once in a while, but Arrow does much better. But it feels like that is what Arrow is morphing into, though, is they're going to continue to do the grindhouse stuff. They're going to continue to do the horror things and the art house things, but they're bringing in a lot more mainstream, bigger titles. I'm okay with that as long as I continue to get the other stuff that they do. Scream Factory is more straight up horror. They seem to be very 80s horror focused, 70s and 80s, and maybe sort of dipping into the 90s now. They like big IPs like Halloween, Friday the 13th, that kind of thing. And, slashers. They'll do smaller, lesser known slashers too. But they also have Shout Factory, which is kind of like Kino Lorber, except Shout Factory isn't as good as Kino Lorber, honestly. I know I just said Kino Lorber is not as good as Arrow. Well, Shout Factory most of the time is not as good as Kino. They don't do the level of extras and stuff on everything. Sometimes they do. Sometimes they do. I've always said there's an A and a B team for Shout Factory. If you get the A team, you're doing pretty good. Your release will have some extras. It'll be a nice new transfer, all that stuff. If you get the B team or the C team, then you're getting an old transfer dumped on a disc with some new artwork. And that's them. But anyway, all that long-winded mess to say that Criterion is very art house driven. They are very film festival driven. They are very kind of art house elite driven. And I don't necessarily, it's not even necessarily, I don't mean that as an insult. It's just the type of film that they do. Now, we get all the genres from them. We get action, we get horror, we get sci-fi, we get all of that stuff, but it has to kind of dip into that art house space. So I have to be in the mood to watch stuff like that, and I also have to be in the mood to buy stuff like that. So I tend to be very picky when it comes to what I'm going to buy from Criterion. So let's see. Been going about 7 minutes. I'm going to give it just a few more, and then we're going to start talking about my pickups and my collection. Actually, you know what? Let's just go ahead and talk about the pickups that I already bought, the ones I just bought. So I went to Barnes & Noble, and let me just say this too. I know I'm rambling. It's what I do. People often say, why would you go to Barnes & Noble? You don't have to, because Amazon price matches these things. You could just order them. I think as supporters of the physical media community, when there's an opportunity to buy something in brick and mortar, if there is a brick and mortar that's willing to put as a primary, element of a big sale, and they're willing to give them to us at what is a good price, then it is incumbent upon us as physical media people to get out and go to those stores and support that. Amazon gets all the money already. I, in fact, think we give too much money to Amazon. And at this point, I started last year, and I'm continuing this year, and I'll continue even more next year to try and drive my dollars toward, as far as it goes with movies in particular, to other sources. I'll order from Orbit DVD, or I'll order from Diabolic, or I'll order direct from a studio. I'll order from Hamilton Book if it's some, smaller tier titles. I'll order direct from Kino. I try to put my money in other places rather than just give everything to one company. I think that's a mistake. So anyway, with all that said, I'll just quickly show you what I picked up the other day. I started out, I had about 8 titles that I wanted to buy, but there's too many sales happening this month and too many other opportunities for purchasing. So I didn't want to just go crazy. So I locked myself in at around $100. That was my focus, is to try to stick to about $100. And I was able to get 4 titles for that. So that's pretty good. That's pretty good. So first up I picked up is The Virgin Suicides. This is a movie from Sofia Coppola. I know this will glare as something. Starring Kirsten Dunst and is it Josh Hartnett? It is it's a pretty simple story, but it has a very surreal atmosphere to it. It's a group of young boys that live in a neighborhood become infatuated with a big group of sisters that live in a house together. You know, they're kids, so teenagers. So this is sort of a little quirky, bizarre little love story. I think it's Sofia Coppola's best movie, to be honest with you. And it's one of Kirsten Dunst's best movies. She's done some good stuff. I think she fell out of favor with people for a while, but I like her. I've always liked her. So I'm happy to finally pick that up. And also, by the way, I picked this thing up in 4K. Now, I love I'm drawing a blank here. I've kind of lost my train of thought. I love Criterion's packaging. I like the edge-to-edge artwork on these cases. I like clear cases anyway, but they seem to be the only ones. Them, and there's one import company I can think of that maybe it's Eureka or 101 Films. One of those two also does edge-to-edge artwork, but usually it has a white bar up here that just says Blu-ray. But I love it. But the one thing I do wish they would do, and I know it's a big ask, they are very specific about how their spines are supposed to look. But there's no Ultra HD on the spine. So by looking at the spine, you have no clue that you've bought a 4K. The only way you're going to know, let's see if I can show this to you, is right there, very small on the corner, it says 4K. Now, when you first buy it, they usually have a sticker on the outside, which this one did, that mentions that it's 4K. But if they happen to get the sticker wrong or something like that, forget to put the sticker on it, whatever, you don't know. I know someone, a TikTok friend, who bought the Blu-ray instead of the 4K. So I wish they were. I don't need, the 3 different versions of 4K on the artwork. Like, who is it? Paramount did it or something. One of these companies did it with Collateral, where it has a slip and it says 4K twice on the slip, and then it says twice again on the actual case. That's too much, but just a little something more. Instead of just the 4K logo, maybe if it had Ultra HD, the whole Ultra HD logo. Part of me really wants it on the spine up here, but I also understand this consistency on their spines. I don't follow their spine numbers myself that much because there's no way I'm ever buying all those movies. All right, so next up is I bought another 90s movie. This is a Denzel Washington movie called Devil in a Blue Dress. Also has Don Cheadle and John Lithgow in it, this one. This movie, the story of this movie is Denzel Washington his character is hired to find a missing woman, and he treats it like a simple missing woman search, but then quickly finds out that he's embroiled in a much bigger political scandal. That this thing becomes sort of a thriller at that point. I thought I tore all this paper off already. I love the film noir vibes of this. I just caught this a long time ago on HBO or something, just a random watch. And I've loved the movie ever since and thought, I'd really like to get that Blu-ray. And then I don't think it was ever out of print, but it was a little harder to find. And then boom, we get a Criterion 4K. So that was on my list, one of the things I wanted to get. Both of these two 4Ks were on my list in my original search. So then the last 4K that I grabbed was this movie from 1981, John Travolta, Nancy Allen, Blowout. Can you guys hear my cat meowing in the background? He's meowing big time right now. So this movie, basically, this is when John Travolta was a good actor. He plays a sound recordist for films, and he accidentally records a car accident. But in his recording, in the audio of his recording is evidence that the car accident was, in fact, a murder. And from there, a thriller ensues. It becomes a sort of a thriller. Not sort of, definitely a thriller. I really like this movie, and I'm looking forward to seeing not only what the 4K sounds like, or looks like, but what the audio sounds like, because the audio in this movie does matter. It does matter. So that's the one my friend bought on Blu-ray when he meant to get the 4K. And again, you just get the little tiny logo there at the bottom. And the last one I picked up is a movie, everything I bought this time was from the 90s. Wow. This is a blind buy. I don't make many blind buys, but I heard so much good about this movie, I had to see it. It's called Eve's Bayou. This is some early Samuel L. Jackson. Stories about a rich family in Louisiana. Obviously, Eve is she's like a little girl, and this is the family's experience through her eyes. The family is rich, and they put on a good show, of course, but behind the family are lots of dark secrets, including adultery, and then eventually, where I'm fascinated, is this thing goes to voodoo at some point, right? You do see it a little bit in the trailer. It's like, what the hell? This seems like kind of like coming of age drama, but then there's adultery, and then there's apparently some bits of like sex and stuff in here, and then it, from there it goes to voodoo. So that's my newest additions. Now, in no particular order, I'm just going to run through my other Criterions. Obviously, everything I have here, I would recommend as a purchase, because if you know me and you know this channel, I don't keep things that I don't like. So everything here I really, really like. So I got this. This was my first Criterion 4K. It's Uncut Gems. This is one of Adam Sandler's very best films, period. This artwork on the inside is really great. If you know, you know. If you don't, then you need to watch this movie because it's great. There's even because he's a jewelry dealer, the inside book. This is one of their best packaging decisions. It looks like one of those what's the store where you get the bracelet and you can add the gems to the bracelet. It looks like a catalog from there. So very brilliant. I'm not like, I wish it actually sat in a pocket or something. It's just kind of falling out. But overall, I really like it. It's got a reasonably good slipcover side loader, which is very cool. And this 4K is beautiful, and it sounds incredible. The sound is very crucial to this movie. It helps build up your anxiety. So they did a good job. All right, next up. Straw Dogs. This has Dustin Hoffman in it. This is a couple goes to basically a 70s version of an Airbnb in England, and they get home invaded. I'll just put it like that. Very, very good film. Okay, what do we have here? Robert Altman's Shortcuts. This is a film with a bunch of smaller stories within it, LA stories, and how they intertwine. Incredible cast, and as I said, this is a Robert Altman film from the 80s, so it's good stuff. Nothing special here, standard packaging here. There's a fold-out book there. Okay. This one is, I can't forget this woman's name. I'm forgetting her name. It's a Steven Soderbergh film. It's the first Steven Soderbergh film I ever saw. James Spader's in it, and I'm drawing a blank on her name, so you can put it in the comments later. She's from Texas. I know that, and I like her. This is Sex, Lies, and Videotape. Literally is what it sounds like. This is like an erotic kind of, for its time, very sexy movie about sex tapes. Kinda. This is a pretty decent book here. Again, we have a situation where the book is just kind of closed inside, and we got a clear slip on this. I don't know if they've done that for anything else. This is a very slim package compared to other Criterion releases. It seems like to me it would have been cool if they'd done it in a tape, like a VHS tape, but we'll get to that kind of packaging in a minute. All right, so I've been trying to beef up my David Cronenberg. This is a science fiction film called Scanners. It has Michael Ironsides in it. If you know him, he's great. Some cool artwork here. Again, we have a book on, bump the mic. We have a book on the inside. Very cool package. Repo Man, early Emilio Estevez. This artwork is cool, but it's kind of spoilery. It's literally about a Repo Man, and Emilio Estevez is his assistant, repoing cars, and it stays that way. It's just that sort of action drama kind of thing until the end, and then this artwork kind of tells you it goes somewhere crazy. But I mean, honestly, it's an old movie from the 70s. If you haven't seen it by now, then you can't expect to not be spoiled, I guess. This is another one of those digipacks, kind of. We have a very thick, very cool book here. It's all like comic booky. Very cool stuff. Probably doing this so early, this live stream so early was a mistake, but it's so competitive to do them late. So many of my mutual friends here do late live streams. So I just thought I would jump on here and do this really early. And this will be here for you to watch later. This was something I bought not this past July, but the previous year, I think. This Jackie Chan Police Story 1 and 2. And now I hear 88 Films maybe, or one of those guys, and this is a weird slide through slipcover, kind of come out both sides, are doing 4Ks, so that's a little frustrating. But these are very fun action movies if you haven't seen them. And they do some kind of appropriate, like, cartoon style artwork. There's the discs, and they did put a poster. Yeah, we've got to look and make sure I'm closing these things up the correct way, right? All right. This one I have twice. This is one of the few double dips that I kept in my library. This is Silence of the Lambs. This is a very beautiful Blu-ray release. There is a very beautiful 4K release from Kino Lorber, but this Silence of the Lambs is a stunning package that the Kino Lorber package does not quite get to. We've got a very cool, very big book with lots of essays in here, but they have a very strong selection of, and this is another digipack, a very strong selection of bonus features that were not obviously brought over for the Kino Lorber release. So I had to keep this one to have the bonus features. And that's annoying because I hate giving up space to the same movie, like extra space to the same movie on my shelves, but I do love them bonus features. I mean, that is easily 50% of what I'm in for. All right. This one barely needs any introduction. This is The Breakfast Club, one of the greatest teen movies ever made. Definitely one of the greatest teen movies of the 80s. This came out in this version. Does have a book inside, got some artwork. In this version, then the actual main studio, I don't know if it was Paramount or Warner Brothers, whoever it was, put out a copy of the movie in a locker, but I don't think it was the same transfer. All right, so I've been interested in the Albert Brooks movies. I love his sense of humor from the 80s, late 70s also. So Criterion has been putting them out. So I grabbed Lost in America. It's a movie about Albert Brooks. Obviously, he and his wife are going on a cross-country trip. They sold everything they have to put the money together to basically go live on the road, and they go to Las Vegas, and she immediately gambles away all their money. Very funny movie. Meryl Streep and Albert Brooks in Defending Your Life. Albert Brooks's character is not necessarily the best person, but maybe he could be. We're going to find out in Defending Your Life because he dies and he's held in this limbo space where he has to defend his life choices in order to continue on to heaven. And he meets Meryl Streep's character, who's also in the same space. Up until Uncut Gems, my favorite Adam Sandler movie was Punch Drunk Love. It's him and Emma Watson. It's still easily number 2. This is a romantic comedy based on a true story of a very, very quirky guy. Small little fold-out thing there, and there's the discard. It's a very quirky, not your typical formula romantic comedy. Okay, so this next one, we do so many videos on here and on TikTok about the most disturbing films of all time, and everybody always talks about Audition and Irreversible and some of those, and they all qualify for sure, but not enough people are talking about Antichrist. This is easily one of the most disturbing films that I have ever seen. Willem Dafoe, he and his wife, to deal with the death of their son, to deal with the grief and anxiety that came after they go, to a remote location to try and get through it, and some terrible shit happens. It's a Lars von Trier movie. I'm not going to say much more. I mean, obviously you can see there's through the imagery, there's some strong sexual stuff happening, and that does happen. And it's the movie has a lot to say, but boy, it says it in some painful to watch situations. The Big Chill, all-star cast here, incredible soundtrack. This is the late 70s, early 80s. I can't remember exactly. I feel like late 70s. If it's early 80s, it's really early. But a group of college friends get together to celebrate the death of one of their friends. And they make a big meal together and reminisce and then reconnect in new ways, being much older. It's a very interesting coming of age. Oh, here's another David Cronenberg. Killer Kids movie, The Brood. David Cronenberg hated being married. He hated marriage. He hated kids. He hated everything in this movie. You can tell. This is a really crazy early Cronenberg horror film. Day Trippers. I love Day Trippers. And I know I'm kind of blowing through these. If you want me to go back and open any of these up, let me know. I'll do that. What's up, Adam? Just now getting here. Let's see. What are you saying to me there, sir? Let's see. I'm just now getting here, but I bought 3 titles in the Criterion sale. Cure. You bought La Llorona and Lost Highway. So Cure was on my list. I wanted to pick up Cure, but they actually didn't have it in my store. So I still might get that one before the end of the month. Now, what's sad about it is if I only pick up that one title, I won't be able to order it from Barnes & Noble. Barnes & Noble has a minimum to get free shipping. And if I only buy that title, then I'll probably just end up giving in and buying it from Amazon because I really wanted it. And they just didn't have it in my store. So Day Trippers is, if you're talking about Thanksgiving, everybody's talking about Christmas, but Thanksgiving is still a thing, right? Well, this is a good one to watch. After Thanksgiving, this family gets together to drive into the city to support their daughter who is going to find her husband who is cheating on her. This is a very funny fish out of water movie. It's an indie movie, definitely has the indie vibes going on, but it's a very funny movie. And it's a great for the holiday. Let's see. You always buy them online. I was just saying at the beginning of this video that for me, I feel like it's incumbent on us, if we can get out, if a brick and mortar location is willing to feature movies at this point in time, the way physical media is, if they're willing to feature them and do a really good sale, I feel it's incumbent on me to get out and support that and go in the store and buy, right? But at least if you can, and I don't know if you did, if you may have bought yours from Amazon, and that's fine. At least you bought movies from Criterion, because Criterion did just lay off half their company, so they're struggling too. But I would hope if you didn't do it this time, the next time, please try to buy them from Barnes & Noble. We need to spread that love a little bit, or we're only going to have one place to buy stuff. That's just my thinking on it. Okay. I'm not going to talk too much about this one because people don't really care, to be honest. But this is a 2-pack of Errol Morris movies, Gates of Heaven in Vern, Florida. These are character studies. I love them. They're documentaries. If you want to dip into the documentaries, I would say this is a good spot to do so. And these are very much more focused on individuals, on people. Speaking of that, this is the last DVDs that I have from Criterion. I have Grey Gardens and the Beals of Grey Gardens, and that's the reason I still have this. Take that tag off at some point. Grey Gardens is one of my favorite documentaries. These are recluse sisters, or a recluse mother and a daughter from the Kennedy family who are living in a mansion, but the mansion is falling down around them. They're basically living in squalor, and they're like the black sheep of the family, that kind of thing. And it's just a fascinating Maisels Brothers documentary. The Maisels Brothers tend to just point their camera and let things happen, and that's what they did in this movie. And I kept this set because I don't think on the Blu-ray, I don't think they have the Beals of Grey Gardens, which is a follow-up documentary about them and what happened to them after the movie was made. Let's see. What are we talking about here? Let's see. Oh, you get them from Barnes & Noble. Well, that's good. At least you're buying them from them. You completely agree. You said you get your Criterions and Arrows from Barnes & Noble and Best Buy only. Okay. All right. Mostly because they ship more carefully and secure than Amazon. See, I don't know about that with Best Buy. I'm glad they're doing that for you, but I've got some friends that always complain about Best Buy shipping. But they're making a big mistake, I think, and they're ordering steelbooks online. And I think ordering steelbooks to be shipped is dangerous because these things, for as flimsy as they are, you can slap the side of it and it's not going to scratch it. But with a steelbook, you can. So if they don't ship them very well padded, they end up getting damaged. And I have to go and buy my steelbooks in person, honestly. But yeah, I try to. I'm the same as you. I try to order. I don't order from Best Buy. I usually go. Now I do pre-order sometimes from Best Buy, and I do in-store pickup. But I was saying I've been giving more of my money to Orbit DVD and Diabolic DVD. I order Hamilton Book is another place that's great to order from. And then I order right from studios too. I can order internationally. Like I do import quite a bit of stuff from Arrow because they get stuff in the UK that we don't get here. And it's just generally $8 for the box. So I'll wait till I have 3 or 4 or 5 titles, and it's not that much shipping across the ocean if they're only charging me $8. Exactly right. Steelbooks should never be bought online. They're just too delicate, and I like to be able to spin that package around and look at them before I commit. So Best Buy has never steered me wrong on their shipping. Never had a package arrive damaged from it. Hey, what's up, Norin? Hey, dude, what's up? So like I said, I haven't ordered that much from Best Buy, but what I have ordered always came fine. You know, I was having this conversation about Groove.com. Groove.com is another great place to order. And I have a friend who was complaining about their customer service, but I've ordered from Groove a lot. And my stuff always comes early. It always comes well packaged. I've never had an issue with Groove.com. So, guys, I've just been sharing my Criterion collection, what I have, just sort of celebrating the fact that we've got a 50% off sale going right now. This one is about to get upgraded, but I'm going to be sad to see it go. And that is Videodrome. Videodrome. I love this. This might be my favorite David Cronenberg movie, as James Woods. And this is definitely my favorite packaging ever from Criterion. Videodrome is a film about, basically it's a horror movie about the impact of TV on us as a culture. It's so ahead of its time. And, they were using beta tapes back in that era, and the case looks like beta tapes, right? And the reason I say this is probably about to go away is there is a 4K that I hear is quite gorgeous. So I really want that 4K, and it's more of a standard package, sadly. Got a book in here. I think it's one of those fold-out books, yeah. There's a lot of stuff in this package, though. But look at that. It's so cool. It's so cool. I love it so much. If the extras aren't all the same, I'll probably end up keeping this one, and they probably won't be. I bet the Videodrome from Arrow doesn't have the level of stuff that this has. Let's see. What's up, Silver Bullet? Oh, you guys are popping in now. I decided to do a stream a little bit earlier because it seems like so many of my mutual creators are doing live streams late at night. Like I like to do them around 9 CST, but everyone seems to be doing them around 9 CST. So it's just like really competitive. All right. So this one is a controversial one. And not, okay, let me just say it. It's Pan's Labyrinth, Guillermo del Toro film. It's a horror fantasy. And the reason this is controversial is there is a 4K, but it's a really shitty 4K. This Blu-ray has better treatment than the 4K that came out. This is a better quality image overall than the 4K. It's one of those dim 4Ks that doesn't have very good HDR implementation. It is double resolution, so you do get some detail, but then the color is so dim that it's hard to see that detail. So if you're wanting to see this movie, and you should, it's really great. This will put some stuff in your mind that will never leave. This is the one I recommend that you pick up. It's difficult also shopping for Criterions right now because you don't know what's going to be upgraded to 4K. That's sorry. You don't know what they're going to upgrade, so it's hard to buy catalog titles. So a lot of these I've had for a while. Hopefully you guys saw the other video where I spotlighted what I bought this year. Cronenberg is a master of body horror. Yes. Did you see the new movie this summer? It's probably going to be in my top 10. It's probably going to be my top 10. I loved it so much. His son is pretty damn good too. Just got A History of Violence on Blu-ray at Walgreens. That's a good movie. I don't know about that release of it though. I don't know about. I mean, for the Walgreens price, it's probably pretty good. If you haven't watched it in a while, that's a good one. That's a good one. Let's see what else we got happening here. I'm looking. Let's see. Del Toro is a great director. Top film is Pan's Labyrinth. Yep. You got it on Blu-ray. Well, if you have it on Blu-ray, if you have the Criterion Blu-ray, you really have the very best version of it. If you have the previous Blu-ray release, I would say it's probably still better than the 4K. That 4K is hot garbage. Someone's going to pick that up and redo it. It's real bad. I see you've got the Dawn of the Dead box set from Second Sight. Yes, I do. On the shelf back. I have the same set. Let's see. Do you know about the box protectors from Katana Toys? I do not. But, it's off topic, but let me show you this. If they're in fact, this is a side note, if there is in fact box protectors, I need to look into it because I still have the J card here, but more importantly, I met Ken Foray at an event and he signed this for me. This is one of the main actors from the movie. So if there's a box protector that fits this, I might have to get it. I'm going to look that up after the show. I appreciate that. Let's see. They make a box protector specifically for that box set. Oh, crap. All right. Thanks for spending my money because I'm going to have to look into that. All right. So we're talking about Pan's Labyrinth. Moving on. This is one that I've had for a while, but I have the sneaking suspicion this movie is ripe for a 4K upgrade. And it's Rosemary's Baby. Rosemary's Baby. Is basically a coven secretly helping a woman give birth to the spawn of Satan. It's creepy. It is a slow burn. That's Mia Farrow. It is a, this is not going to be like jump scare after jump scare. This is more about atmosphere. And you know what? Movie like kind of recent. Everyone's talking about Ty West now because of X. One of my favorite Ty West movies is House of the Devil. If you like House of the Devil, then you should watch Rosemary's Baby. I think this will get a 4K. I just have a sneaking suspicion on it. But this is a very good Criterion release if you find it for a good price. Oh, I will look them up. Thank you, for sure. So I'm just going to briefly kind of show you. I don't want to get this. All right, I'm going to show it to you like this. I'm not even really going to talk about this movie except to show you the back of the box, and you can freeze it later and read up. This is one of those things. When you think that Criterion is sort of this elitist art house label, they are that. But within that window or in that space of art house, there's some really twisted shit. And this is probably one of the, other than the Antichrist, which I already showed, this is a movie called Sallow. It's a little bit of, not really nudity, but it just looks really aggressive. And I don't want to get this thing. I'll just put that there. Later after the show, if you want to read up, this is a very good release of this movie. This is a very, very difficult movie to watch. You really got to get your mind right and ready to watch it. It's a digipack right there. And let's see. Here's the inside. Some of that pretty basic. This is like, this is Arrow before there was Arrow. This book. This is a perfect bound, beautiful perfect bound book. Let me see. And I mean, there are pictures, but it's mostly this giant essay. So this movie is not. I'm not going to go into it too much, except to say, if you're looking for something challenging, ooh, this is something, and not for a mixed crowd. This is not for a mixed crowd. If you've seen it, then you know. Let's see. It's only $7 with shipping. Oh, okay. That is worth it. So you didn't spend too much of my money. So I appreciate that. All right. The Royal Tenenbaums. This is a quirky, I guess, family drama kind of comedy. This has an all-star cast, starting with Ben Stiller, has Gene Hackman in it. This was the movie that convinced me that Gwyneth Paltrow could actually act. Like, I literally just never cared anything about her. I know she won some Oscars and stuff, but I saw her in this movie and I started to pay attention after that. This is a very good movie. And this is a perfect example of the perfect Criterion release right there. I mean, this movie is a Criterion. It was meant for Criterion the minute it was done filming. All right. So did anybody wonder what the director of the Halloween remakes did before that? Well, he did this movie, George Washington. He's done other stuff too, but this is a movie I like. And this literally is a character study film. It's kind of like a day in the life of some like lower on the economic scale kids just trying to get by. That's it. It's not much more of a story than that. These kids are great. This kid right here in particular is really great. And it's just engrossing. Like, you just sit there and follow them through their day. Very good movie. That movie, I've got to get a replacement case. If you guys know anywhere that's selling these particular cases, like Criterion cases, that one got damaged when we moved into the space. All right. Forrest Whitaker movie, Ghost Dog. He's an assassin, basically an assassin with a heart. This is such a quirky movie. There's some sequences in Ocean's 11 where you have an Asian character and there's language swapping going on, but everyone just speaks to each other in their native language and it's not noticed. And it's really funny. That was in this movie first. I saw this here first. This is not really an action movie, but it kind of like reminds me of The Professional, except I would say this is much quirkier than The Professional, but it is in that same kind of space. There's a book in here. He actually reads this in the movie, so that's funny that that's in there. Criterion used to do a little bit more with their pack-ins than they do now. All right, talk about movies that kick your ass. I got another one for you. This is Funny Games. This is a Michael Haneke film. I really like Michael Haneke because he really knows how to push buttons. This is a home invasion movie, but this is not your mama's PG-13 horror invasion. This is basically, I would say, this is on the edge of an NC-17. And he came over to the United States and this is German. He came over to the United States and remade this film. One of the studios, maybe Warner Brothers, had said they wanted to do an American remake because this had gotten so much notoriety. So my phone is going crazy. I'm sorry. He said, okay, if I can do it. And he came over here. You got Naomi Watts, Tim Roth to be in it. And he basically remade his movie shot for shot. So that American remake is nearly as edgy as this one. So you can't go wrong with either version. I prefer this one. It's the original. Also, the music is a little more fitting to Michael Haneke in this one than the new one. But if they ever put out a nice version of the American one, I'll pick that up too because it's really good. Ghost Dog and Last King of Scotland, favorite from Forest Whitaker. Those are really good choices. I obviously love Ghost Dog, and Last King of Scotland, also very good. All right, I don't have many music docs, but I have this one from Criterion. This is the Rolling Stones, Gimme Shelter. So this documents a particular show of theirs that even if you don't, I'm sorry, I lost my train of thought for a second. Even if you don't like the Stones, this is kind of worth watching because this is historic what happened here. This is the Maysles brothers, again, like Grey Gardens, so they just point their cameras and let it happen. What had happened in this particular show is the Hells Angels were hired for security. And of course, because you do something stupid like hire the Hells Angels for audience security, when things get a little rowdy because people are drunk, somebody ends up dead. And that's this movie. It really is this is a concert movie. You get the concert on here. You see the music, them play music, but you also see what's happening in the audience. You don't see someone, I don't remember. No, you don't actually see someone get necessarily. You don't see a close up. In other words, you do see what happens, but I don't want to be too spoilery about it. But you do see what happens, but what is so important and impactful is when the band sees what happens, because they don't see it during the show. Let me turn this phone down. It's one of the best concert documentaries ever made, and it's the Maysles brothers, who I really, really like. So, all right. The Life Aquatic with Steve Zissou, another perfect Criterion movie, a quirky, artsy comedy with amazing actors in it. This might be the last time. Bill Murray was actually funny. He's real funny in this movie, but they kind of play on his, older vibes going on in this one better than the newer stuff he's been in. It's a very good movie, though. Very fun movie. Let's see. You can order replacement cases directly from Criterion's website. Oh, okay. You said they're priced very fair. Okay, that's a good thing because Criterion loves their stuff. Criterion takes a while to ship out. Criterion also charges a good bit for shipping too sometimes. That's the thing about ordering direct. I would love to, like I order direct from Second Sight. I order direct from Arrow. I don't order direct from Criterion that often because they're not friendly on the shipping. All right, I only have 2 titles left. I know a lot of you guys missed about half of it, but I will talk a little bit more. Lady Snowblood. Have you seen Kill Bill? Because if you've seen Kill Bill, then you need to see Lady Snowblood, because A good portion of Kill Bill only exists because of this movie. God, just looking at this case, I need to watch this. I haven't watched it in such a long time. Watch it when I bought it. It's got a fold out in there. I hate the fold outs. Like, this one, it's just another one of their. Oh, this is just a poster. This one's not a fold out. I bet it is on the back. Like, when do they ever expect me to read that? It's not going to happen. If you put it in a fold out, I'm not reading it. This is a pain in the ass. Make a book. But for a long time, for years, they were the only ones doing those kind of pack in film essays. So they were just kind of doing their thing. And I'm sure the fold outs were cheap. Wait, what are we saying here? From Silver Bullet. Hello, wrong group to get to do the security. Yeah. You watched it some time ago. Now, good album. Gimme Shelter. Yeah. So the band's reaction, Mick Jagger's reaction to seeing what happened in the audience. I don't want to get too in depth with it. It just makes it worth watching. All right. Last movie in my collection, and I have not watched this one yet. I have not watched it. This is a Bong Joon-ho movie called, and I bought this, like, I feel really embarrassed because usually I have a 2-week rule on these, but I keep his movies and I know I was going to keep it. So I just haven't gotten to it. Memories of Murder. Have you guys seen this? I kept hearing that it's so good, and I just snapped it up and just like literally forgot to watch it. Now that I have it out, I think I'm going to pull this out and Lady Snowblood out and make them a priority. There is a booklet in here. Yeah, I just heard it's good, and it was on the Criterion sale in July, so I grabbed it. So this, like, if you look, this is what I have. It says stack 1. Whoa. And then, let's see. Stack number 2. And then finally, over here, short stack of 4Ks, and then my new pickups. So it's not a huge collection. Like I said, I'm very picky about Criterions, about how I put my money toward them. But most everything I have, I've loved. Let's see. You have Memories of Murder. Let's see. You only watched it once, but thought the hype around it was much higher than what the movie actually delivered. That's sad to hear, Adam. I'm sorry to hear that. But it was because he was getting so much attention at that time, probably. I don't know. We'll see. I'll watch it. Maybe that'll be my weekend watches. I'll watch Memories of Murder and Lady Snowblood because I need to see that movie again. It's been so long. Lady Snowblood is so beautiful. All right, so that is my Criterion collection. And again, these are the 4 that I actually just bought from the sale because you guys weren't here. I'll wrap up with them. Devil in a Blue Dress 4K, Denzel Washington, Virgin Suicide, Sophia Coppola, Kirsten Dunst, Blowout, John Travolta when he could actually act, and then Eve's Bayou, which is Samuel L. Jackson before he became the Samuel L. Jackson of Snakes on a Plane and Avengers fame. More of an actor's actor kind of thing. So I'm interested to see it. Do you guys see any of those? I think probably maybe the Virgin Suicides is the most popular of that particular stack. So in order for me to shop, though, we have 2 Barnes and Noble within 20 minutes of Nashville. And I called one of them because the one I went to in July was horrible for the sale. They didn't have much of anything. And I didn't want to make a trip out to that one again just to find that they had nothing. And sure enough, the guy on the phone was like, "Oh, yeah, we have plenty." And I'm on the phone going, "Yeah, bullshit. You don't have plenty." So I called the other location, and they informed me that their store had, in fact, ordered a bunch of extra. a bunch of extra for the sale. And you'll see some footage from my trip to that store, and they in fact did have a lot. They didn't have The Cure. They didn't, not The Cure. They just didn't have the movie Cure, which was on my purchase list. I'll have to, like I said, I'll have to order that one. Did anybody else in here pick up anything? Are you picking up anything for the Criterion sale? I know Adam did pick up some things. He shared that with me right at the beginning. I want to get the director of Funny Games has a box set coming out. Michael Haneke has a box set coming out of 3 films of his that I haven't seen at the first of the year. I want to get that, but I'll probably again wait. Blowout sounds interesting. I'll grab that one. Thanks. Yeah. So Blowout, it's just it's John Travolta plays a film recordist, and he accidentally records a car accident, and within the audio of his recording, he it is evidence that it was a murder. And then a thriller, like a kind of a cat and mouse thriller, ensues. It's a very good movie. And like I said, John Travolta, it's kind of like the Samuel Jackson thing. It's John Travolta just acting before he became that persona that he brings to everything now. It's he actually did a good job. I think it's Karen Allen is also in that one. That's kind of a film school movie. It's kind of something, if you're studying film, you got to watch Blowout. The thing, I just got it, so I need to get it watched too again, because I'm curious about what the audio is like in this new 4K, because audio is important in this movie. Yeah, see, we're talking about this at the beginning too, how you can barely tell that you've bought a 4K. It's right there at the bottom and tiny. There's nothing on the spine. I guess that's still preferable over the gaudiness of some of these studios, though, with their little 4K stuff. Yeah, Silver Bullet, if you get Blowout and watch it, let me know. Let me know. I would love to hear what you think of it, because I really like that one. Of that set, though, probably the Virgin Suicides is my favorite. But all of these are top-tier movies that I've been wanting to get for a while. Virgin Suicides, Devil in a Blue Dress, and Blowout are all new 4Ks for this year. The only thing that I might also do, I'm thinking about it with Cure. I want to get Cure, but I also really kind of want the Wall-E release that comes out the 22nd of this month. And since it's coming out in November, we'll still be able to get it at half off. So that's 2. That'll be $45. That sucks, because I think they have a $50 minimum on Barnes and Noble to get free shipping. So then to get free shipping, I'd have to buy 3. What do you guys feel about a Disney animated movie coming out from Criterion? It's such a controversial topic. I am fine with it. I think Wall-E fits their catalog. It's artsy enough. It's got some social commentary in it and all the stuff that they kind of look for. I think it makes sense, but what I hope is within that deal, it opens up the Fox catalog, because there's so many movies that Fox has that Disney's not putting out. Give us that Alien 4K. What if the Alien 4K came out from Criterion? That would be banging. Now, a lot of people will complain because it's a big movie. It's not your Euro art house movie, but I would be great with it. All right. Well, that's my hour, you guys. Thank you guys for popping in here and having a chat with me and going over Criterion movies. If you guys get anything, please pop back in here and put it in the comments. Let me know, and we'll discuss it. Maybe we'll do another video talking about what you guys have picked up before the end of the month. There'll be more discussions to come. I'm very into the Vinegar Syndrome that's happening, sale that's the Black Friday sale that's going to happen at the end of the month, because they have enough titles now that I'm hype. I mean, they have plenty of titles, but they have enough titles that I care about, that I'm hyped for the sale now. So that's kind of why I only bought these 4, because I want to save a little money for that sale. And then right now, currently, Best Buy is having a huge sale, or Amazon, I'm sorry. Best Buy is having one too, but Amazon is having a huge Blu-ray sale. I'm talking Blu-rays and 4Ks between $7.99 and about $12.99. And the best way to see those is either on Blu-ray.com or through Slick Deals. I don't know if you guys use Slick Deals, but Slick Deals has all of them listed too. And sadly, I don't know, it says something about the size of my collection, but I went through, it's like 4 pages on Blu-ray.com of the movies, and there was one title that I needed. And it's $12.99. It's on the higher side, which is still cheap. Don't get me wrong, but I just have this sneaking suspicion I'll be able to get it for $10 on Black Friday. So I'm not picking up anything from it, but there's a lot. But anyway, you guys have a great night. Thank you for joining me. And I'll do the little closer here. Until next we meet, pull something cool off the shelf, share it with your friends and family, and remind them why physical media is the best way to watch films and TV at home. See you guys on the next one.